Hey everybody, how's it going? Travel Man Dan here, and welcome to this week's episode of Reading Man Dan. Today's going to be so much fun, as we're going to be reading one amazing, famous American author and one of his best stories ever. I'm talking about Dr. Seuss and The Lorax. So sit back, relax, and get ready for the show. Let's go. Alright everybody, here we go. It's going to be a super fun episode. I'm really excited to read this book. But before we get started, if you haven't already, can you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring the notifications bell, go ahead, give me a like on this video. After any bit of support will go ahead and help my channel grow, and I really appreciate it. One more thing before we get going. Ariana, you requested that we read The Lorax, and here it is. This video is out for you, and I hope you enjoy this episode. But because of your recommendation, because of your suggestion, in your honor, we are going to be reading The Lorax. Way to go, Ariana. Let's get started. All right, here we go. The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. Jeez, look at that street. Not too inviting, is it? And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today, where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere, from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Once-lear still lives here. Ask him. He knows. Very interesting, huh? Very interesting what's going on. Let's turn the page and see what happens. You won't see the Once-lear. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks, and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. Always something. Somebody always wants money, right? Just want to find out what happened to the Lorax, and he probably charges something. I wonder what he charges. Is it hourly, or does he charge by information? Let's find out. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail. What? Weird. Okay, there it is. The payment. 15 cents, a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather's snail will get him to talk. Then he pulls up the pal, makes a most careful count to see if you paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snoove, his secret strange hole in his groovulous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. Okay. Going to contact me by the whisper my phone. Very peculiar, that Once-lear is. Slump! Down slaps the whisper my phone to your ear, and the old Once-lear's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a sneer jelly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish beans up his nose. Now I tell you, he says with his teeth sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back. Such a long, long time back. Wow. Okay, so he drops down that little tube so you could take a listen. And his voice is all crazy, but we're going to find out what happened to that Lorax. You just sit back and relax. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, and the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean, and the song of the swami swans rang out in space, one morning I came to this glorious place. And I first saw the trees, the truffula trees. The bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Wow! Look how beautiful that is. But we can see the one Slayer pulling up in the wagon down below as he pulls up, and look how beautiful the truffula trees are. Wow, those truffula trees are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, they just look like little plops of cotton candy, all different color and bright and beautiful. And under the trees, I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloo suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the humming fish humming while splashing around. Wow, look at the barbaloots, and then look at the fish splashing around, having a good time, just enjoying themselves. But those trees, those truffula trees. All my life, I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh, buttery milk. I felt a great leaping, a joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. Wow. Okay, look at him. He's already got his hands grabbing away at the tufts. Okay? They smell fresh, like buttery milk, and they're just so soft. Wow. I'm curious to see what happens. In no time at all, I had built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft, and I knit it a thneed. What? Why would you chop down a tree that's so beautiful? But take a look. He chopped it down, and he knit it a thneed. The instant I finished, I heard a gadzump. I looked, I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. It was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish, and oldish, and brownish, and mossy. And he spoke with a voice that was sharp and bossy. Wow, look at this. Popping out of the stump. What is that? He's definitely short. He's oldish. He's mossy. Let's find out who he is. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed. What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? Wow, he doesn't look happy at all. Check him out. He's wondering what happened. What is that thing that you made out of my truffula tuft? Lorax, I said. There's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. A thneed's a fine something that all people need. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, or curtains, or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, "Sir, you're crazy with greed. There is no one on earth who would buy that fool Thneed." What is that thing? Okay, so we have a major difference of opinion. The Once-Layer thinks that the Thneed everybody needs. And the Lorax is like, nobody will buy that thing. That thing is ridiculous. But the very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For, just at that minute, a chap came along. And he thought that the Thneed I had knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. Yeah, that's what happened. This chap came along and he ended up buying it for $3.98. Now he's got himself a Thneed. And in defense of the Once-Layer, yeah, he's right. You just never know what people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called on my brothers and uncles and aunts. And I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Once-Layer family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Nitch, turn a left at Weehawken, sharp right at South Stitch. Uh-oh, the Once-Layer's calling up his whole family. They're going to get mighty rich off of these Thneeds. Oh no. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Once-Layer family was working full tilt. We were all knitting Thneeds, just as busy as bees, to the sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Wow, he's got his whole family just working away, chopping down trees, making Thneeds. I'm very concerned. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now, chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees at one smacker. We were making Thneeds 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he did not show up anymore. Wow, look at the super axe hacker whacking down trees 4 at a time. Just absolutely destroying the truffula tree forest. And the Lorax is nowhere to be found. But the next week, he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I'm the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping down as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots who played in the shade in their barbaloo suits and happily lived eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula tree to go around, and my poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. Man, aw, look at the barbaloots. Look how sad they are. Okay, they're not feeling well. They got terrible gas in their stomach, and it's just like bloating out, and they got nothing to eat because all the truffula fruits are being chopped down and taken away with the trees. This is terrible. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Once-Layer, felt sad, but as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow regardless of the crummies and tummies, you know. Man, The Once-Layer just has no feeling. Check out the Barbaloots. They're walking away. They're leaving. Okay, this was the place where they lived. This was their spot. Okay, this was their home. They used to just grab fruits and they would just eat them. Their tummies would be full, but now they got crummies in their tummies because there's no truffle of fruits to eat. And the Once-Layer doesn't care. He says, business is business, right? I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger. So bigger I got. I biggered my factory. I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagon. I biggered my loads. Of the needs I shipped out, I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I went on biggering, selling more needs. And I biggered my money, which everybody needs. Oh, man. It's sad, you know. You got the Once-Layer. He thinks that all you have to do is just bigger everything and make it bigger so you can get more and more and more money. But that's not the case, okay? He's definitely built himself a lucrative business, but kind of sad to see all the truffle trees being chopped down. Take a look. Alright, let's find out what happens. Then again, he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax. He coughed and whiffed. He sneezed and snuffled. He snargled and sniffed. Once-Layer, he cried with a cruffless croak. Once-Layer, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swami swans. Why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in their throat. Man, look at the swami swans. Poor guys. Look at all that smog from the factory. It's just choking them and they can't sing and they can't breathe and they're all snuffed up and just terrible situation going on right now. And so, the Lorax said, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smogged up around here. Man, there goes the swami swans. They're out of here just like the Barbaloots. They're not going to hang around if they're just getting tons of smog in their nose and down their throat every day and they're not able to sing. That's terrible. I mean, who knows where they're going and who knows if they'll ever come back. What's more, snapped the Lorax, let me say a few words about Glumpity Glump. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop, making Glumpity Glump. Also, sloppity slop. And what do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you. You dirty old Once-Layer man. You. That's right, you. Look at that. Oh, man. He is just making all kinds of gloppity glue. He is making all kinds of glumpity glump and sloppity slop. And where do you put this stuff? I mean, let's find out. Ooh. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So, I'm sending them off. Oh, their future is dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. Man, that is terrible. Look at that. Those poor humming fish that used to hum and swim in that beautiful pond, that beautiful water right there. Now it is full of gluppity glup, sloppity slop, and they got nowhere to go. And then they have to take the long journey to find new water by using their fins. They're going to be extremely exhausted. It's just not a good situation. This whole Thneed factory thing is not working out in favor of anybody. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at the Lorax. Now listen here, Dad. All you do is yap, yap, and say bad, 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 bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggerin' and biggerin' and biggerin' and biggerin', turning more truffalo trees into thneeds, which everyone needs. Man, that is just... The one Slayer is dressing him down, yelling at him, saying, look, stop telling me what to do. I have my rights too, and I'm going to take down all these truffalo trees, and I'm going to make sure everyone gets a thneed, because everyone needs it. And the Lorax, look at that face on the Lorax. Just can't believe it. I know, just can't believe it. And at that moment, we heard a loud whack. From outside in the fields came a snickering smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. Timber! The very last truffalo tree of them all. Ooh. That's it, folks. Look at the beautiful truffalo forest that was so vibrant and full of so many beautiful trees and amazing colors. And the tufts of the truffalo trees were so soft and smelled delicious like buttery milk. They're all gone, everybody. That thing is tapped out, right? Empty. All you can see is just thousands of stumps. No more trees. No more thneeds. No more work to be done. So, in no time, my uncles and aunts and everyone all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. Now, all that was left neath the bad-smelling sky was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. Wow, look at that. There's no more money, no more thneeds can be made. All the family hops in the car and they're taking off. They're out of here. See you later. The only ones left are the one Slayer. And down here you have the Lorax. The Lorax said nothing. Just gave me a glance. Just gave me a very sad backward glance. As he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took the leave of this place, through a hole in the smog, without leaving a trace. Wow, look at that. The Lorax just got up off of that stump right here, hoisted himself off, took off. He's out of here. Doesn't want anything to do with it. Found a hole in the smog. Went right through it. Said, see you later. I don't even know if he said see you later. He just went right through it. And he was out of here. And all that the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word. Unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago. But each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all my heart. See, that's... Look at now, the factories are falling apart. They're broken down. They don't work no more. There's no truffalo trees to make any thneeds. And the poor one Slayer is just sitting there, just wondering, what does the word unless mean? But now, says the once there, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. All right. Well, he figured it out, I think. What does the word unless mean? Well, unless someone like you goes ahead and starts caring, well, nothing's going to change. It's amazing. I think he figured it out. Let's see what happens. So, catch, says the once there. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Grow a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. A truffula seed! They have one! Just one seed. Take care of it. Plant it. Nourish it. Give it clean water. Fresh air. Keep it from being hacked down by any axes. And, well, maybe that tree will grow into a beautiful truffula tree. And it'll bring the Lorax and all of his friends back. The end. Wow. What an amazing story, huh? I mean, the once there who, well, came to town and stumbled upon the truffula trees and saw all the beauty in them and how they smelled and how they felt. And, well, he thought he could profit off them. And he did. He profited off them a huge amount. He brought all of his uncles and his aunts and all of his family members and his friends, and they created this giant factory, and then they chopped down all the truffula trees. But over time, even as they were getting rich, they didn't realize while they were doing it, they were ruining something so special, like not just the truffula trees, but the fish, the swans that sing in that area. You had the barbaloots who played in that area, and just all the surrounding life. And then, finally, the last one to leave was the Lorax, the protector of the trees, the protector of the swans, the protector of the barbaloots. He pulled himself out, found a little hole in the smog, and slipped out. And yes, the once there made a ton of money. Okay, everyone became rich, but unfortunately, it ended. And after everyone left, he was stuck in a dark, dismal little area, stuck in a tree where he had no friends, he had no family. I want you to understand, the moral of the story is, although it's important to make money and to earn, and I got nothing wrong with business people, it's really good to go ahead and create your own business and start something new and creative. Like in the story, he created the Thneed. But you also have to be sensitive and aware of your surroundings. You can't go and just rip down forests and make it super polluted and throw kinds of junk into the water, because there's other life in there that, well, they might not agree with your business, and unfortunately, they pay all the consequences of something like this. You saw what happened to the fish. You saw what happened to the barbaloots. And the poor trees, they were just cut all the way down, and there was none left. So, keep in mind as you grow up and you start to understand the world a little bit more, that it's important that, as businesses grow, find out how they're doing it. Make sure that it's not detrimental to our environment, because that is the most important thing. The life that breeds around us has just as much significance as our own lives. So, man, what an amazing story. I get so emotional just thinking about it. Well, if you like this story and you like what I'm doing and you haven't already, can you go ahead and hit that sub button right there? Go ahead and ring the notifications bell. Give me a like. Put down in the comments below what you liked about this story. If you like this book, if you like another Dr. Seuss book, or if you can recommend a book I should read. I'd love to hear from you. That's going to do it for us today on this episode of Reading Man Dan. I hope you saw some really cool and fun stuff in this book today. I hope you learned something new and interesting about saving our environment and being mindful as you create a business. But most of all, I hope you are inspired to go ahead and get this book, The Lorax by Dr. Seuss, yourself, and go ahead and read it and really put yourself in the place of the once Lear or the Lorax and have fun, enjoy reading it, and be inspired. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Travel Man Dan, aka Reading Man Dan, and remember, it's a big world out there. Make sure you see every bit of it.